Hi everybody, welcome back to my channel. So as you can see today, I am going to be doing a book haul. So I have got 20 something books in my lap right now and it is really getting heavy. But basically I went for this massive sale last week with my best friend and I managed to get about 31 books for $30, which was amazing. So I'm gonna try and get through these books as quickly as I can. I have split them up into 4 categories. So I've got my favorite books, books that I'm hoping will inspire me / give me perspective. The third one is novels, and the fourth category is joke books, which are basically books I would never buy on a normal basis, but these were so cheap. They were basically like $1 each. So without further ado, I'm gonna jump right into it. Also, I really need to get this off my lap because, whew, that is heavy. So I'm gonna get started with my pile of favorite books. So the first book I have is an amazing buy. It is called Everything You Need to Know About the Universe. And if I had bought this outside, it would have been so expensive, but I honestly got it for so cheap, so I'm really glad about that. And yeah, it basically talks about, you know, various things floating around in the cosmos, if you may. And yeah, it's interesting, and what I love is that it's all written in like layman terms, so people like myself can understand it, because me and science just don't really go together. That being said, I am really excited to read this, and I am obviously gonna start on the section about dark matter because that's some cool shit. The next book I have is adorable. It is called Mr. Darcy's Guide to Courtship. So I picked this up from my friend Tanuja, who is a huge Austen fan. I personally am not. But when I, flipped through it, I was like, oh my god, I need to get one for myself. And I don't even know if I'm supposed to take this book seriously or not because it is so funny. Like, if these were the actual, dating rules used back in the Victorian era, wow, that would have been so fun to just watch. So I'm going to read out this one part from the book. Heads up, if you really don't like someone, this is a great insult. If your stock of beauty is small, do not intrude your ugliness upon the notice of unsuspecting bystanders, especially if they are of a delicate constitution. Being unexpectedly confronted at close quarters by an unsightly stranger can provoke a serious attack of the nerves. This is golden, and it's like a full 200 pages of stuff like this, and I swear I was reading this out to my sister and it was so funny. So I feel like I should just do a separate series whereby I just read stuff from this book because it is that good. Next book I got is The Picture of Dorian Gray. Again, this was a really great buy because it's hardcover, brand new, still in the plastic. It's got these very pretty blue pages, and I feel like I started this a couple of years ago, but then I gave up, like, I don't know, after 10 pages, so hopefully I can get back to this book. Next one is Dante for Beginners. And this was a great buy because when I read Inferno a couple of years ago when it came out, I was so psyched after the book, so I was like, you know what, I'm going to read the entire Divine Comedy. That clearly did not happen because I read like the first few cantos, I think that's what they're called. I read those online and I was just like, but this is basically all 3 parts written as a narrative, and hopefully it still holds that, holds the original essence of what Dante wrote. So yeah, this should be fun to go through, and there's these cute little illustrations and stuff, so there's that. So the next book I got is called Fever Chart, and it is about this guy who has a lot of mental afflictions, if you may, and basically he falls in love or gets obsessed with a number of girls, and somehow he ends up ruining each one of their lives. And yeah, it just seems really interesting, and the character seems to be really strange, and a lot of reviews online said that this book is super strange, and I kind of like strange things, so I'm gonna give it a go. It looks really good though. So the next book I got was supposed to be a joke book, but it just seems so wonderful, and appropriate for me, so I'm including it in this pile. It is called Why Steve Was Late, and it's just a book of 101 excuses for being late. And honestly, I have so many people in mind that I can gift this book to. Notice how I'm not very happy saying that, hint hint. But some of the excuses in here are hilarious. This one says, could not decide which pen to wear. This one is, oh, okay, this is funny. It says, involved in a vending mishap. So, I got this. So the next pile of books I got is books that I'm hoping will inspire me and give me perspective. So the first one is called 10 Eternal Questions, and this is basically a compilation of quotes and insights by, wise people. So there's work in here by the Dalai Lama, Nelson Mandela, Paulo Coelho, that's the alchemist guy, right? Yeah. And ooh, Richard Dawkins. I was just reading an essay the other day, and somebody mentioned this guy, and he basically tried to scientifically disprove the existence of God. Not so sure how I feel about that, but it sounds very interesting. He wrote a book which I might want to read, although I cannot remember the name of it. Anywho, so yeah, it basically has supposed answers or insights to 10 questions I'm sure we all ask at least one point in our lives. For example, how do you find peace within yourself? What is your concept of God? What is your moral code? Stuff like that. So it's not something you read at one go, but yeah, should be nice to get through. Next book I have is Poetry for Pleasure, and I honestly feel like this was a literature textbook back in secondary school. I'm not even joking, but I just picked it up because they have such a variety of poems and prompts in here. So for days whereby I just cannot get myself to write something, I'm just gonna like open a page and force myself to create something. The next book is called Art Saves, and again it is a book of inspiration. So what they've done is they have featured 20 different artists in here, and they're from, like, they all do different things. You've got painters, you've got writers, there was even like a quilter in here, which was interesting. And yeah, they've basically got like craft ideas, writing prompts, and just they talk about art and the notions that it brings in general. Like this one, this page, this section is called Grounded, and I love the first line. It goes, what comes first, the art or the experience that inspires the art? And like, these are the kind of things that I love to talk about, because there is just, oh my god, there is just so much to be said. And yeah, hopefully this acts more as a prompt for thinking rather than writing or trying to create something. So this was a really good buy too. And then the next pile of book I've got is the biggest. It is it is a pile of novels. So since there's so many, I'm just going to try and zoom through this as quickly as I can. So the first one is called The Bone Clocks, and I am not going to lie, I picked it up because the cover is beautiful. The blurb seems interesting too. It doesn't give away very much, but I think it has something to do with human genome modification and basically trying to achieve immortality. So that's cool. So the next book I've got is The Raven and Other Stories by Edgar Allan Poe. Poe is my favorite writer of all time. I love his work, and I think this is like the third or fourth compilation of Poe stories and poems that I have, but I just can't get enough because he is so great. Next book I have, this one seems really interesting. I normally would not read something like this, but I just have to get it. It is called Horses of God, and it is basically about this family of 11 brothers in the Middle East, and how they basically face inner conflicts between, you know, morals and their faith versus the lure, I guess, that militant groups have. So yeah, I mean, it'd be interesting to see how things are from their side. So yeah, not like the terrorist side, or I'm not justifying anything. I'm just saying, like, people who live there. God, maybe I'll cut this out. Okay. Next book is called Cat Out of Hell, and again, this is not something I would generally read, but it's basically a psycho thriller. I do love watching movies of this genre, so I figured, you know what, just read something for once. Also, there was a black cat on it. I believe that black cats are good luck. Next book, also feline related. It is called the Meowmorphosis. What? Meowmorphosis. Why was that so hard? Cat's so cute, the name's so hard. It's Meowmorphosis. Gosh. Basically, this guy turns into a cat. Enough said. And then the very last pile I have, which is secretly my favorite, is my joke books. So the first one was that one, Why Steve Was Late, you know, 101 Excuses. And then the next one is basically called Penguins Hate Stuff. And then there is a prequel, if you will, called Zombies Hate Stuff. And these are ridiculous. Like, I don't even know how people get these published and make money off of them. Anyone could do it. Zombies hate celery and babysitting. Wow. Don't we all? Penguins, on the other hand, hate... Okay, that's funny. They hate getting even and getting fancy. I like both, so no way I could be a penguin. And then the last one is called Catland Empire, and I'm gonna say it's a graphic novel because I don't want to admit that it's a comic, but it's basically about these cats. Okay, so it's Catland Empire. So it's about these cats dressed up in suits doing all sorts of random stuff. So yeah, I guess this would be really whack to read. And that's pretty much all I have. So thank you everybody for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. If you have read any of the books, feel free to, you know, drop your opinions or reviews in the comments below. At the same time, if you want to find out like the complete title and author of a particular book I mentioned, again, feel free to ask me. And I just want to say thank you so much for watching.